We're back, Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG TV. You can hear him warming up behind us. That would be Mr. Joey Beaver as we are taping some shows during the Eve of Destruction afternoon here at the Crosse Speedway. Going to be interesting because Joey Beaver is actually one of the stunt drivers we have out here along with Ryan S., and they're warming things up. He's going to be doing some stunts on a Harley. It will be the first time he's done that here at the Crosse Speedway. Our guest in the program, Mr. Cole Howland, that drives the #1 NASCAR late model here at the Crosse Speedway. Cole, let's go back to last year, just when you thought things were going to be going your way after a horrendous 2010. The Turn 3 wall was not your partner one more time, and it kind of carried on throughout the season because you had a season-ending break.
Yeah, that wreck that ended our 2012 season. The 2011 season. That really put a toll on our car. We were hoping to get back for Fest, but it was just too much work, and it would have just cost too much just for that one race. So, we just decided to pull the plug on the 2011 season. And then fast forward exactly 1 year, I remember, waking up that Saturday morning in this 2012 season, thinking that this was the exact weekend that the stub did get knocked off in 2011. I hope it's not just going to carry over and just be an omen or whatever. Right. And come to find out, that night in 2012, that past week or whatever, we won our second feature of the year. So we flipped the roles 180 degrees. So that was really cool to get the win on that night.
Cole Howland joining us in the program. Now, for some of our race fans that aren't mechanically savvy like myself, kind of explain what the stub is on the car, and when you break it in the right way, how that can just knock out your whole season.
The front stub is pretty much right out of the foot box. So when my feet are on the pedals, right outside the tin, just right in front, from that point forward of the chassis is what we refer to as the front stub. And the suspension mounts, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. The suspension is mounted in a precise point on the chassis. So it's not like you can just hack apart the frame and weld some tubes back together. Right. When everything gets pushed over like it did for me, you literally have to cut the front section of the car off, take it to where the race car was originally built, and put it on the jig so it's sitting exactly flat, and then weld up the front stub, the new one, obviously that's straight, and take all your measurements so all your suspension points are mounted exactly where they were before. That takes time, and then much less just putting the whole car back together, all the bolt-on pieces. It takes a lot of time. You don't want to rush through that, right. Or else the car is not going to be worth anything when you get it back on the track.
Cole Howland, my guest on the program. Mr. Cole has had a very successful 2012, and I tell you what, the 2 feature wins he had this year, he had to wrestle those away from last year's track champion and Wisconsin State champion Jay Herbst. Talk about both of those feature wins that happened right there coming at a Turn 2 on 2 different nights. Yeah,
the first feature win, that was Fair Weekend, which was a huge weekend for us to get our first win. I had the pole for that race, and Jay he had a good start. He was able to keep his momentum on the high line. He got the lead away from me. But come about 6 ago, I think, I really started gaining on him. And coming out of corner 2, I saw his car push up a little bit. I thought it was now or never if I was ever going to get underneath him. So I just mashed the gas, and fought the car and just, got a really good run off the corner and was able to get underneath him, and really pull him down the backstretch. And then, we had a 2-lap, really competitive two laps from there, side-by-side racing, which was awesome for the fans to see. Neither of us wanted to give it any ground. We weren't giving each other any room. Right. So that was a lot of fun, and
then the second feature was pretty reminiscent. Yeah. The same exact move, and the cars were in the same exact portion of this racetrack.
Yeah, it was crazy, for everything to unfold how it did. And to beat the last year's track champion for both of our feature wins, that was really big for us. Really gave me a boost of confidence.
And then, of course, if you go into the first ever late model challenge race we had here a couple of weekends ago, it happened a third time. And I've never seen this happen at this racetrack. You've got nothing against Jay, and Jay's got nothing against him. But during the match race, it was both of those cars pitted up against each other, the only two on the racetrack for this challenge. And you did it a third time in the same portion of the racetrack.
Yeah, once again, Jay got me on the start. I was able to keep his momentum, rolling on the high side. But the next lap coming out of corner 2, I just put the pedal to the floor and just wrestled on the wheel and was able to pull him down the backstretch again and get inside of him. We just had a good race from there to the finish.
And it was. I mean, this has been fantastic to watch these two. And you would think you would see that in the likes of Sean Paff against Todd Korsch or Steve Carlson versus Kevin Noodleman. We're talking two different spectrums here, Jay Herbst and Cole Howland, who have obviously, he's got a lot more racing experience than you do, but 3 different occasions this year, he beat him to the punch. And I'll give all the credit in the world to Jay as well. He's a fantastic driver, but it was just one of those scenarios that Cole was in the right place at the right time 3 separate occasions. So now we got Oktoberfest coming up here. You couldn't race Oktoberfest last year. And I'll tell you what, folks, I had a conversation with Cole on the phone about 3 weeks before and on Facebook. You said, I can't race, and that one hurt that you couldn't be out here for one of the premier races in the country.
Yeah, we haven't been able to race Fest since 2008, and then last year at the end of the season we really got our momentum rolling, and we were putting together some really solid finishes, and I think we would have had something, for him at Fest. We were competitive week in and week out, and 40 laps, the 40-lap race at Oktoberfest. I think I would have been able to pick my way to the front and once again, have another solid finish. So, so that really bummed us out that we weren't able to race Oktoberfest. But I plan on making up for it this year, and, I expect nothing less, a top 3, if not a victory.
So again, they're going to be racing our lacrosse late models on Thursday night at Fest, where we're going to crown a track champion. Now, will you be racing the Futures race as well?
I'm not sure. My dad and I have talked. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what division the Futures race is. Is that Big 8?
Well, that's going to be the super late model division on the Friday night, in which if you're 29 or under and haven't gotten the feature win or the track championship, which you would be sliding almost right in there with some adjustments to your car, of course.
Okay. I guess we wouldn't be racing the super lates, but my dad and I have been talking to run the Big 8 show, which I believe is on Saturday. And then, maybe try and find one other class or one other race that we'd be able to fit the car in. So, I mean, we plan on, racing 2, if not 3 events at Fest this year.
Cole Howland, my guest in the program. Before we let you go, talk about your sponsors of 2012 that have helped you out this far.
My sponsors, they've been awesome to me. I can't ask for anything better. The Fieldhouse Bar and Grill is our main sponsor. Those guys out in Madera have been, just awesome for us this year and last year. We also have Tuna's Bar in Genoa, Wisconsin. I want to thank all my fans in Genoa. Those guys are really cool. We took the car down there, and showed the car off for them. A lot of nice people. I was happy to meet them all. We also have AJ's Hot Tub. He's been our sponsor, since I was 8 years old racing go-karts. So he's our most dedicated sponsor. And then we also have Pomp's Tire Service, Lawn Keepers. We have Smith Auto Body. And all of my Tire Club members. We wouldn't be out at the Crosse Speedway week in and week out without all my sponsors. So I just want to have a big thank you out to them.
I already want to thank my guest, Cole Howland, Mr. Calm, NASCAR late model driver, the #1 for being on the program today. Continued success for the rest of the season. We'll see you at Oktoberfest.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
Alrighty, folks. Cole Howland on the program. Check him out. I've got his fan page on Facebook. That's going to do it for the program today. More coming from the Lacrosse Speedway between now and Oktoberfest. For Calm, Mr. Howland, I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG TV.